And all of a sudden it's a tiger. It was never not a tiger. Come on, guys. Hey pals, welcome to a new video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I thought I would take the opportunity to, here in post, give you a bit of a heads up that this one's going to be more about what happens when things go wrong. It's not a tutorial, it's just documentation of, yeah, what do I do when I'm stuck? Mostly because I did get stuck doing this second character following our elephant last week. I was working on a tiger and I jumped straight in and things just weren't moving forward. So for your viewing pleasure, here is me getting stuck for 20 minutes and then resolving it into a sprite that I actually really liked in the end. It's a nice record of what happens when you jump in too early and don't have enough direction. That includes references and design notes, that kind of thing. So enjoy the video and I'll see you at the end. So the next thing would be another sprite that looked like it's in the same world as this sprite. Immediately, because we're in this like Asian environment, I would go, okay, what about a tiger who's like a DPS character? A character who's gonna fight by this guy's side, who's like a tiger. What are the defining characteristics of this game's style? I think the proportions being a little more chibi, I'll take that and run with it. So slightly bigger heads, more emphasis on simple shapes, simple blocked in shapes. So let's go for a tiger now. And we could give this tiger like maybe like a dagger or something. I want them to have weapons, some of them. And tigers are usually they're more like hunters, right? So we'll give him also a similarly like forward leaning pose. And maybe there's some opportunity here to have him a bit more compressed. And tigers tend to have just sort of playing with shapes at the moment. This is very hunched. I probably wouldn't do this unless it was going to be really, really clear. So maybe instead of this, we go something more like tiger could be like the proud. I still want him reaching forward. Give him his tail. Oh, I like that actually. Not quite as pivoted. Maybe he's got like a spear. So let's place this guy. Take you, get you out of here. You've been a great help. Thank you very much. And then we'll take you, bring you over, and you're going to be a lot smaller than the elephant. So tigers, there's a lot of direction towards the front that I can see, just in the posturing. There's like a wriggle aspect of it. There's a front sort of like muzzle, and then there's the bits coming off. So we're gonna have to show that. You know what? Let's do it sideways so we can see it a bit better. That way we can keep working on this process that we've got going, where the silhouette tells us something about the animal. So it's a bit harder because it's not as big, but we'll get there. I might flip this tail. No, not enough space for it. All right, let's go do another shade so we can get some of those actual tiger features in there. No, it's not quite right, is it? Because the pose itself was always designed to be facing this way. Well, let's see what we can do with this side. The ears of the tiger, they're more out, aren't they? Than up. I'm going to be cutting a lot of this. A lot of what I'm doing right now is going to get cut from this video as I'm finding the space. Don't like it as much. I think I'll skip it. I think we'll start again from scratch. I think the premise was bad. I like tiger. I want to stick with tiger, but I want to try something a little different. Let's start with the features. Let's start with tail. Does the tiger's tail have it goes into a short and it actually comes down. Let's look at some more pictures of tigers. I want to get this right. I want to find a pose that makes sense. I know what I want. No, see, I really don't know what I want. Me in post again. I think what I've done here is I'm trying to rely on my intuition to stumble into a series of shapes that get me closer to something that I like. But because my intuition isn't aware of what I'm trying to do, like I haven't made that decision of whether I want this to be a stealthy tiger or a proud tiger. Like, is he noble? Is he villainous? Who knows? So in that sense, I'm just making a bunch of big changes just until I find something that I like. It's not a very efficient process, and it probably could use some direction sooner. I know what I want. I'm having a hard time getting there. Okay, I think I'm there. Slowly, slowly. I still like the idea of giving him kind of like a staff or a stick or something. I don't know why I'm sort of attached to that. Or it could be twin daggers. Yeah, like Wolverine. That's what I'm thinking. But I want to get, there's certain things that I want to get right, which is there's that hunch. Oh, I think I got it. I just want to avoid wolf. If I can avoid wolf, then I'm good. Yep. I would really like to try having the tail come through the legs, but I don't know if that's gonna work. You'd have to always keep this separate. So now that we're at this point, I'm going to bring in the second color and the third color. We're not quite yet at the point where we're going to give him stripes and stuff, but we're going to get there. It took us a while to get to this shape, but I think it was really important to get it looking feline at least, and like some sort of big cat before we even move forward, because again, that silhouette is so important. That's the thing that I wanted to really hammer home before we got any further. So obviously, like, it's going to look like any generic big cat until we add the stripes and the placement of the eye, I think, relative to the nose. There's certain elements that make it tiger specifically. I mean, obviously it's going to look like a panther now because it's so flat, the coloring, but we'll definitely get to where we want to go once we start working in those extra elements. And there are things that I think, if we get them right, tigers have big paws, but they also have these kind of like elbow bits. Maybe this isn't quite so much like this, but more like, oh, I like that. T'Challa. Definitely evoking a Marvel vs. Capcom Wolverine, for sure. But I kind of like that. I think we're going to get stuck unless we start bringing in extra shades. I think we're just about where we're going to get to with just these two colors. I'm going to give him a weapon. Or it. Her. Okay, so let's get some eyes in here. That's looking pretty good, right? Yeah, I was thinking about the torso. I was like, what does a tiger's torso look like? But they're so solid. It's not bad. I think what I might do is bring this up and bring all of this forward. Keep this as a straight line. It's close. Something's a little off about the shading. Yeah, I think the head is a little bit too tilted towards us. I might rotate it out. It's mostly a question of the ear, actually. And then just removing all of this. I think the shoulder looks better there than there. I think it definitely looks more like a tiger now. Let's start getting the colors in. Let's go one lower. It's going to be hard. I'm going to have to be really careful about picking the right colors here. But I'll see what I can do. Because there's a lot of gradient. So like, for example, this tail is actually more like this. And it's actually, that's going to be really hard because the belly being white contrasts the fact that the belly should be, it's darker, right? Because it's underneath. So there's a bit of, got to be really careful there. Like it's lighter in tone because of the color of the belly, of the fur, but it's darker because there's less light available. So you got to be really careful with that. It'll confuse the whole thing if you don't get it right. Those really next to each other? Damn, those colors don't work at all. It is, it's all over it, isn't it? Okay, well, let's try a different strategy here. Let's go. Grab all of this. I'm going to grab everything that I want to change. And I'm going to bulk change all of it. But it's not finished yet. It's not finished yet. Just got to try to resolve this scenario with the colors. We're not in danger of losing it. It's just a question of getting it right. It's a lot of colors clashing. And the stripes are going to do a lot as well. The stripes are going to make it really... They're going to be a real challenge. But we'll see what we can do. How does it transition? It's really just a hard change, isn't it? It's not really anything. I don't have a more iconic orange. The closest thing I've got is this one. You've always got to work with what you've got. You got to work with what you got. That's the challenge. You can cheat, but if that's your palette, that's your palette. So I kind of want to work in the scenario where, you know, that you might be in, where you only got so much, you know, to work with. Man, I'm really nervous about coloring this. It's just so unintuitive to do big black stripes all over it. I want to take a look at just the face first. How am I going to make this work? No, we don't need more pixels. We got all the pixels we need right here. Pixels we have at home. Let's use this guy. He's fun. The crazy thing is they have such different patterning. All of the tigers have different patterns. Look at this one. It's only got like 4 stripes. So it's eyes and then around the face. Let's just keep it at that. Okay. We've got eyes. I'm going to do 1 stripe. And all of a sudden it's a tiger. It was never not a tiger. Come on, guys. No faith. Everyone's like, oh, maybe make it not a tiger. Maybe make it a monkey. Maybe it's a panther. Come on, guys. Have I ever steered you wrong? Hey guys, me in post again. I just wanted to take a second to mention like how much more easy this part of the process is once the actual pose has been found. Using references to get a little bit more guidance on these details like the stripes, which make up the whole thing really. Without them, I don't know if I would have been able to just wing it, right? And so it's worth being humble and actually, you know, knowing and accepting when you don't have clear guidance on something and when you do need to look at something or take a little step back. But where do the stripes end? Do they go all the way under or do they just sort of, looks like they kind of just fade away and they're all over the legs. We haven't even considered giving this guy clothes or anything yet. I mean, Jesus. It's just been such a, just getting it to look like a tiger. Although now I think it does look a lot like a tiger. Has been a mission. Okay. So we drew a tiger. Let's give it some features that actually give it some character rather than just having it be this tiger on the battlefield. I think it looks good. It's clearly a tiger, and I think it really feels like it's from the same game as this guy. Maybe not with the eyes yet, but it will. Now it does. Oh man, I actually love him. exactly as he is. Feels bad. Well, let's give it a class, right? So it was going to be like a class, maybe it has a sword. Maybe a dagger more than a sword. Something curved. Maybe like a scimitar. Because it's like a claw. Like a, what are they called? Not Gebetto. Karambit warrior. I think I got it. Where are these guys from? Anywhere where there's tigers? Malay. There's tigers in Malaysia. Boom. Well, done. That's my excuse. Anytime I do something that's not historically accurate, I just remind everyone that it's fantasy. Doesn't matter, it's fantasy. Inspired by. You know? It's inspired by Malaysian Karambit warrior. It's not necessarily one. I think he's going to fit right alongside the elephant. How is it for you to not make a game with them right away? They look fantastic. I don't know. I just think I've made enough games, which is one, to know that games take so much more work than just making a cool sprite. So there's a lot more we could do here to make this, you know, perfect. But I think it's in a really good spot now. The way that this melds into that, that's really damaging for the overall silhouette. The fact that your eye can't really tell the difference. So what you want to do instead is probably change this. If I was really going to do a good job with it, I probably would rotate the hand so that I could get away with something that was more like this. There's a little bit here I'm not happy with. Mostly just where these sweep in. Doesn't really look even. But yeah, also just trying to, like, this is probably the hardest thing I could have picked to draw because of how complex the shading is, but outside of that, yeah, I'm really happy with it. How complex the details are, not shading. And little things here and there, like, see this stripe coming up against the shorts. So, I think we're in a good spot now. For funsies, we can outline these guys. If we want to make it nice and clear. Yeah, really happy with how these turned out. Hey pal, thanks for watching, and thanks most especially to the patrons and Twitch subs who support this channel and my game dev project Insignia. To find out more, click the links in the description below. And if you like this video, tell YouTube by clicking the like button, and then YouTube will tell me, and then I'll make more videos. That's nice.